probably ought to stop broadcasting. I probably should have quit about 5 years before I passed.
I think we should have quit about 20 years ago.
That's okay. I've been listening since 10. I can't make anything out of it.
What am I, an accountant? What do I know? We only deal in truth here.
Oh my God, what world am I living in? Scott Barter's making me laugh.
Don't you feel a little stupid? Go over there this afternoon. Throw your worm in the water. See how that works out.
Throw your worm in the water means something different in Los Angeles.
Well, it means about the same thing here in Kenosha. Wow, things haven't changed.
That's what I'm saying. I can't make heads or tails which part is which.
Was a virgin sacrifice?
Not that I recall. We couldn't find one.
And not in Kenosha anyway, right?
Get through what you got to get through, Scott.
This program is a real challenge.
Good morning, everybody. This is Uncle Scotty Barter, and welcome to the June 16th edition of the Kenosha Today Weekly Report, coming to you live from Studio A here at AM 1050 WLIP on this gorgeous Father's Day weekend, streaming worldwide and booming across the very warm and muggy cornfields of the Midwest, reaching out to over 1.4 million listeners here in the Tri-County area. Being brought to you this morning by our major sponsors, the Boathouse Pub and Eatery and Barter's Financial Planning Services, along with a host of other very fine local businesses. Back with us this morning, actually was here last week, my relationship advisor, who will also be challenging Donald Trump for the coveted Corbell Peace Prize. Elmo Schneider's in the house.
Good morning.
So how are you working on that? Does the contest go by how much Corbell you drink, or is that just consumed, or?
I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with that. So,
well, how do you expect to be in the winner's circle? I want to be there for your speech. When you go to where do they get the Nobel Peace Prize? Is that in Washington?
Stockholm.
Sweden, yeah.
That's right outside Sturtevant, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, right next door.
Oh, that's what I thought. That's Foxconn.
Probably you're going to have to hold it somewhere else next year.
Also joining us in his radio debut, last week's Stump the Chump winner, Dynamite Dickie Baltus is here.
Good morning, folks. Hope you all have a very nice day.
Okay, that concludes Dickie's radio debut.
Thank you.
Is that what your wife calls you, Dynamite?
Not normally.
Not normally, huh? Well, let's see how this works out. So what do you think of the surroundings so far? Is this, other than being a glorified closet,
That's about what it is, but it's interesting.
That's the first time anybody said this was interesting. Actually, a lot of important people sat over there where Wacky Wayne's sitting. He's our board operator and engineer on the trolley ride this morning. He's on his way to becoming husband of the year.
Working on it.
You're working on it.
It's a slow process.
His wife, now Dick's been married, he's got marriage experience.
Yes.
Now let me ask Dick, his wife breaks her ankle about a month ago, 6 weeks ago?
More like 3 months ago. But
3 months ago,
sure.
yeah. So she's gold bricking this thing, claiming that she has to sit at home with a cast. She should have been out cutting the yard, 3 or 4 days after that, right? You'd have that.
I've had operations, I've been out working the next day, so you can let her know that.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's kind of now he's learning something here. Because
right.
his wife's probably, your wife's listening to this, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so she's probably recording it for
litigation.
Litigation. This is a community property state. Away staining the fence this weekend, my boyhood hero, our video coordinator, the Love Doctor / Cabana Boy, will be back next week.
He's
Lucky
not staining
devil.
the fence. He's out at the U.S. Open, Shinnecock Hills, caddying for the Dalai Lama.
Can you see Spider out there with his pants that droop down a little bit and caddying for the Dalai Lama? That I'd pay money to see that. This week, the Kenosha Today Secret Word Challenge is sponsored by Barter's Financial Planning Services. And the Kenosha Today Brain Trust, Dick, you're with us.
Uh-oh.
It's guilt by association.
Did he come to the production meeting? Did he?
I thought I invited him, but
He didn't make it.
he
Huh?
didn't make it.
All right.
It's best that he doesn't. If he would have come to a production meeting, there's no way his wife would ever let him out of the house.
Right.
Or
Probably.
two, he probably wouldn't be home from the production meeting. So
There's always that.
There's
yeah.
always that.
Okay.
Just trying to help you out, Dick.
Thank you very much.
Anyway, the Kenosha Today Brain Trust has pre-selected this morning's secret word, and the first caller to say the secret word will win $20 Boathouse gift card. Coming up after the 10:30 weather break, Kenosha's fastest-growing game show sensation, the Lightning Round City in Jeopardy, sponsored by the Boathouse Pub and Eatery. And then after the 11 o'clock break, this week's top 10 thought-provoking category, written at Amen Corner, where gray hairs matter. You would have fit right in with us, Dick. You would have been a natural. Anyway, these are the top 10 ways to make Father's Day more exciting.
All right.
You know, Father's Day, and when I get into this, Father's Day is actually not as respected and popularly observed as Mother's Day. And we're going to let people call in their tributes or shout out to your dad, your grandpa, your best memory or story about your dad. Boy, who spelled this? The best thing you learned from your dad?
Do you want a couple minutes to go spell check or get a little grammar on
I
that?
don't know what I was thinking about, and I did this at 8 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, the best dad joke that you might have. We're looking for a couple songs to play coming out of the what do you call it? Bumpers, the commercials. And you know, we got criticized that one time when we played. It was on Memorial Day.
Yeah.
And we played what's her name?
Kate Smith.
Kate Smith.
Yeah, bare snippet of Kate Smith and
boy, did we get chastised.
She wanted the whole thing.
And nothing but the thing.
I know.
The best song on the planet. But, you know, first premiered on, where was that? So out on Broadway at 1939, and we only did it.
Armistice Day of 1939 or whatever. Yeah.
Also, some Father's Day. You know, the average dollar spent on Father's Day is only $27.50. That
sounds about right.
Yeah, but Mother's Day, into the hundreds.
Oh, yeah.
We had a Mother's Day where those gals called in. You know, they wanted dinner and roses and perfume and.
Right. Well, we're simpler people. Just leave us alone. Let us fire up the grill.
That's right. Let us
Problem
leave.
solved.
What do you want for Father's Day?
Yeah.
I want to be
Give me a
left
case
alone.
of beer and a steak.
Well, that goes to that. Nice. You read the rest of my notes here. What are some great?
Obviously, you can't even read the rest of your notes,
can't
let
spell
alone
them.
me.
What does a dad want for Father's Day? Work-related items, sports-related, like a tennis racket, a golf club, home tools, like a
Like
weed
tools
whacker.
you use at home.
Why do you want to give Dad something that has to do with work?
Well, how about
That
I
seems
know
to
a
be-
guy. I know a guy that what did he give his wife for Valentine's Day? A scale.
That was Christmas.
Or Christmas, yeah. What says I love you more than here?
mean, she said she
pop
wants-
on this baby.
If she says she wants a scale, you get her a scale. That's right. It's not her fault for choosing the wrong gift.
Or another guy, Dick, you can weigh on this. He gives his wife, I think it was for Valentine's Day, a $350 vacuum cleaner. What? Go ahead.
He has more money than I have.
That's the thought that counts.
Right.
But you see, guys tend to go overboard. But what says I love you more than here's a vacuum cleaner, and let's
Right.
cop to it, right?
Yeah.
Grilling tools. Does a guy want to be taken to brunch or just be waited on? Like I'm sure on Mother's Day you waited on your wife just hand and foot, didn't you?
I can't even remember when it was.
Dick, you're not doing too well. Is this the call I'm thinking about?
Yeah, it is.
Dick, you take this call. I say, good morning, you're on Kenosha today.
Good morning. You're on Kenosha today.
Good morning, everyone.
Hello, Shirley. How are you today?
Good. You're the guest there today?
Yes, I guess if you want to call that, I'm the lucky man.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's good. I bet you're having fun.
I actually am. I've been waiting for this call all my life.
He's learned how to BS right off the bat here, Shirley.
Yeah, right.
So,
Well, happy Father's Day to everybody, all the fathers.
Well, thank you very much.
yeah, we're all fathers. Hey, what's the best advice your dad ever gave you? I know,
Well,
don't wear a pink piddle skirt in the balcony of the Roosevelt Theater.
My dad was the best dad in the world. I was daddy's girl. He was the best dad. I miss my dad so much. And whatever he always said, whatever made me happy, that's what he wanted for me. And he listened to the radio all the time. So I hope in heaven that he's listening.
So the apple don't fall too far from the tree, right?
No, he just loved the radio. And my mom loved talking on the telephone, so I got both
there
of
you
them, one from one and one from the other.
Surely, if he's in heaven, he ain't listening to this show. I can tell you that right now. Maybe in the other place, but not in heaven.
Oh,
Well, Shirley, here's something that's going to make your dad proud. This was a story in Shelburne Farms. They found 2 employees unresponsive. They rushed them to the hospital, and these 2 gals were housekeepers. And apparently the two guests that were in this room, they left some candy that looked like Whopper's malted milk balls, but they were actually some of your product, marijuana edibles. And in fact, you had your name written on the thing. So how does that make you feel?
Well, that's okay. If it made them happy, that's all right.
They were unresponsive. And then here's another thing that I make your dad happy and proud of you. This is out in Hawaii. You know, they're having the problems with that volcano.
Uh-huh.
And here's this guy, Mr. Altman, 66 years old. He gets cut off from the volcano, and he estimates he's got $100,000 worth of marijuana in the field that they were harvesting. And now he's got no income and nowhere to go. So I figured you take in homeless marijuana growers, don't you?
I do. Yes, I do. There's always room in my garage.
He says, we're not stupid. We thought this out. Well, who counted on the volcano? What if that happened? Seriously, what if a volcano hit Kenosha and separated you, and it came down the lava right between you and your garage? You wouldn't be calling us anymore, right?
Well, probably not.
We have a plan, Wayne.
All right.
Plan.
Things to work
Plan.
towards.
Yeah. Goals. Everybody's goal related. All right, Shirley. Well, so what are you doing
Nice
for Father's Day?
talking to you.
Oh, wait a minute. Dick's got a question to you. Hang on.
Yes, Shirley, I've been wondering exactly where is your garage?
Well,
At the end of the yellow brick road, right next to Oz.
Yeah, it's near the old Roosevelt Theater. I don't live far from there, where the Roosevelt show was, which is gone.
What?
I don't live far from there at all.
But not forgotten.
No, I always lived in the Roosevelt area when I was a kid, and I do now, and I was always really loved that Roosevelt.
Aha, we heard about all that. The guy
Had
coming
more
to
fun
take
in
you down
that
to the
show.
Roosevelt Theater with a pink suit on, and you with your poodle skirt up in the
okay,
balcony.
yeah.
That didn't make your dad proud, did he?
Maybe I didn't want to go when he came walking down the street with those pink pants on. And my family said, that's your date. You got to go. And they pushed me out the door.
So what did we learn from this, boys and girls?
Don't wear pink pants. But nowadays, anything goes. That was years ago, but now any color goes.
Speaking of going, we
goes.
gotta go.
Okay. I hope Gunga calls, and happy Father's Day to everyone.
Thanks, Shirley.
Oh, bye-bye.
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 Hey, Shirley.
Bye-bye. See, that's not easy, Dick, when you got to take calls like that, is it?
Well, as often as she calls, you should have quite the practice.
Yeah, well. By the way, we are going to play Stump the Chumps again later on after 11. And again, if one of our lucky listeners an opportunity if they want to join us next week, if they're successful in stumping the chumps. And what'd your wife say when you won? Or what were you thinking? I can't imagine her. Did she try to talk you out of this?
I didn't hear the part where I was going to be here for an hour, but
I said you can come here and stay as long as you'd like.
I must not have been listening, but I was not going to take the beating that young lady took when she didn't show up, so.
Well, plus once after the first hour, we'll loosen the duct tape that he's got around your wrist, and we can go from there.
Thank you.
If you fight your way out of it, you're free to go. Hey, Elmo, what are we going to call as after the 11:30 break our special weekly editorial segment as the
zygote turns, in honor of Father's Day.
zygote? What's a zygote?
It's a fertilized egg.
What is?
That's what happens at conception.
Oh, I missed that part. Okay, as the zygote turns, now here's what happens, Dick.
Yeah, well,
Not that one.
I'm pretty sure that's an appropriate one for that. Oh, you want the other one, huh?
Play the
All
harp.
right.
So he's been practicing.
Maybe.
Sometime.
Maybe.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Wrong button.
Oh,
All right, we'll bring it around.
yeah, see, it's all in the timing.
Yep.
Hey, and it gets even better, folks, for those who might have forgotten. Tomorrow at noon, each and every Sunday, you can tune in here at AM 1050 WPLA and listen to the replay of this show. And then you can watch the replay of this finely tuned, professionally produced Excuse for a Radio show. Right, Dick?
Yes, sir.
On Time Warner Cable's Channel 14, Tuesdays at 5, Wednesdays at 6. And last week and this week we are having replays because the show that we had on the radio last week and this one will air the last week of June and the first week of July.
Oh, okay. Why?
I ain't going to be here.
The spider is gone to do that.
Oh, yeah, but we aren't
Okay.
going to be here. Did I tell you that?
Yeah.
We're-
30th and the 7th.
We're in the 4th of July parade.
We're taking
At
off a
Summers.
couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I like
I'm-
it.
I'm under a lot of pressure.
I know. I can tell.
You wanna come in
can't
here?
You can't even spell correctly. Poor guy.
That's something new?
No, not even a little bit. Did you add any extra letters to the word of the day?
I don't know. Emma looks
Looks
okay
good
to me.
All
this
right.
week.
All right.
Every so often I get nervous and I put in that. You can never have enough vowels.
No. Add a few more. It's all good. A silent X in there. Yeah, it's fine.
Silent X. Hey, now you're thinking you're trying to pretend I'm stupid.
I'm not pretending.
Oh. And everybody can now sign up with the thousands of our fans and listeners who have joined the Kenosha State Nation and liked us on Facebook. And, of course, every Friday afternoon at 3 p.m., we get together for Getting Silly with Scotty. And like I said before, it feels good to be back on the men's team because I was going through this transgender period in my life where, I didn't know which team to play with there. And going in and sitting in the women's bathroom and having to put the toilet seat down all the time and then having to write my name and phone number on the wall, that just got a little old. So I'm back with the guys.
Good call. It's probably going to work out better for you.
I hope so.
In theory.
All right, we're taking your calls, 262-694-1050. We're taking a tribute or shout-out to your dad, your best memory or story about your dad, the best thing you learned from your dad, your best dad joke, or a good Father's Day song, and what you think is the number one gift you ought to get your father. And I hope you spend more than $27.50. That's an average. But
So some people are lower, some people are higher, obviously.
that's why they call it the average.
Well, you're the accountant here, so you would know.
Yeah, well, we round off. I don't know what the $27.50, but Dick, you expect an onslaught of gifts coming your way tonight or tomorrow?
I'll be lucky to get a hamburger out of this deal.
You'll get the bill.
That's it. Yeah, you got to buy.
Anyway, let me read this here. With the unemployment in the southeastern Wisconsin, in fact, the whole area being so low, recent job fairs showed that jobs are plentiful in the Kenosha County area. However, employees are having a hard time finding people to fill these positions, and what better way to seek qualified new hires than to take advantage of the very low Kenosha City advertising rates and increase your ability to fill these positions. There are approximately 1.4 million people living in the WIP listening area, reaching as far south as North Chicago, west to Lake Geneva, all the way to the northern suburbs of Milwaukee. So if you're looking to fill jobs such as service types, truck drivers, general laborers, warehouse workers, to include any skilled job openings, give me a chance. Call me at give us a chance, 262-652-6767. Okay. Good morning, you're on Kenosha Today.
Hi, guys. It's Cindy. How are you today?
Very good.
Morning, Cindy.
Hi.
Hi.
My dad, I think I told you about, he was a vet. And then he worked at Ajax Motors before they were Nash.
Oh, really?
After he got out of the Navy the first time, he was that was in 1929. Then he worked at Ajax for a little while. Then they moved to Kenosha. He went in the war when they still lived in Racine and worked up there.
Wait a minute.
And,
where was Ajax Motors?
It was where the Mitchell Wagon Works was, in the Mitchell Car Company over there in Racine.
Oh, okay. And so then they came to Kenosha?
Yeah, after the war, they moved to Kenosha. He went back in for World War II when he was 35.
Oh.
He went in on the 13th of December. He had already been in the Navy in the 20s.
Okay.
But he loved to fish, and we used to go up to Minnesota all the time and go fishing, and he was funny, and he would listen to a little bit of rock and roll on the radio, but not much because he didn't like most of it. And in the 70s, there was a song by Bill Withers. It was called Ain't No Sunshine When She's Gone. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know, it's got all those I knows in it. I know. That one.
Yeah.
Well, it was on the radio in the car one time, and he snapped the radio off, and he says, "Why do you listen to that stuff?" He says, "There's 26 I knows in that song." So he didn't like rock and roll, but he knew how many were in that song. So.
What's the best advice your dad ever gave you? Don't play the radio while he's listening? Don't go ahead.
No, he said, don't ever get a credit card.
You know, a lot of people coming through that era after the war, there was no credit cards. I mean, very little, right? Credit cards didn't come.
You're right.
such thing as a credit card.
He always said if you have a credit card and you buy something that's not really yours, and he said if everybody does that, then we're gonna, the economy is gonna go down the tubes.
Well, the economy
And
would
that's
be
what
down.
happened.
The economy would be down the tubes if we didn't have people buying on credit. You wouldn't have houses, cars, or Elmo
Well,
had.
yeah, I know.
Elmo had a great.
But he said if everybody tied everything up, then the government would have to make up for the deficit,
But Elmo had a great comment at the production meeting, just so you think we weren't just fooling around. What's the thing you read? Don't lend money. Was that you that said
Oh, that was K-Dog. Yeah.
Oh, what did he say?
Never lend money to
yeah.
somebody that needs it.
Yeah, right.
He used to have a saying, and it's kind of old-fashioned, so you wouldn't really somebody get it. But he would say, if I said anything to be sorry for, I'm glad of it.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's because glad is the opposite of sorry. So
Oh, okay.
a lot of people didn't get that one.
I didn't.
He was a good guy. He didn't like Columbus Day because
Why?
he had a little bit of American Indian in him. And so when Columbus Day would come around, he'd say, "Yeah, Columbus. My people tied up his boat."
Now we're going to be hearing for Irish Ruth because she likes Columbus and Custer and Libby Custer and that whole Custer clan that went out west.
Boy.
So we'll be hearing from her. So, well, Cindy.
Hey, I got a good Custer joke, but I won't tell it on air.
Thank you.
Yeah, we've got enough litigation going these days. We don't need any more.
All right.
All right, Cindy.
All right.
Have a great weekend.
You too.
right.
Thanks. Happy Father's Day.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Cindy.
We're talking about Father's Day gifts. I didn't get to the, and if you have a suggestion of what you think would be a great Father's Day gift, we'd like to hear that, 262-694-1050. But here's one that caught my eye, Elmo and Dick, maybe not you, the youngster over there, but booze and naked women.
Works for me.
That works for me. Dick?
Works for me. I don't know about
Yeah,
my father. though.
You guys might want to stick with the booze. I think the naked women are going to be outside your play zone.
I mean, above my skill level?
Oh, for sure.
But it'd be worth to give it a shot. What the heck? You can't, that old saying of once you learn how to ride a bike,
You'd never forget.
You never forget.
It's like riding a bike, yeah.
I think I can still remember what goes where and why. It's the how that I have the problem.
Right.
So,
Don't worry, there's pills for that.
no, but what about they have viewing in magazines that, like instruction manuals.
Right.
I haven't read an instruction manual in my life, but I might want to
You might want to brush up.
brush up.
Yeah. It wouldn't be a bad idea, per se.
What else? What other way can I spend 2 minutes? All
Speaking
right.
of instruction manuals, yesterday when me and Bimbo Mike were trying to put together that storage bin, we were looking at the instructions. There's no words on it. It's just all pictures.
Well, okay. I mean, this was was there any screws involved or just a snap-in?
No, snap-in and screws, both.
Oh, Jesus. And this was like a box that he was going to put his...
Yeah, it's like a storage chest
storage
with
chest,
a
right?
lid that flips up on it.
So what was his function while you two guys were doing all this?
But we were trying to figure this out, and just...
Oh, with him?
Yes.
Oh, boy. How long did it take you?
It's still not
20
together now.
minutes.
Now, that pose a good question before we go to break. I don't know if it's a guy thing or maybe it's just me. I generally don't read instructions
Okay.
or take them too well either.
Right.
And when I put something together like these guys do, it always amazes me. I got extra equipment, extra parts left over, and then the thing's probably tilted a little bit.
Right.
Kind of makes me wonder if I shouldn't.
Maybe glance at the instructions.
You read instructions, Dick?
I have to. I found out a long time ago I am not smart enough to do this myself.
Besides, it keeps you from your wife saying, "I told you so," right?
Yes.
All right, we'll take a break for the weather. Who's on the weather today?
Worcester.
The Worcestershire man. Okay. And then we'll be back and we'll play a little City in Jeopardy.
WLIP, live and local. The WLIP Sports Roundtable, weeknights 7 to 9. Monday, Hockey Talk with Wally Cronkey. Tuesday, Robbie K and the Sports Crew. Wednesday, Kenosha Sports Extra with Pat Haggerwald. Thursday, The Sports Bar with Coach Jerry Booth and Don Wilson. Live and local. We are Kenosha's radio station. AM 1050 WLIP.
Are you, or someone you love, one of the nearly 1 million Americans living with Parkinson's disease? There is no known cure, but you have the power to help change that by participating in a clinical trial. The Michael J. Fox Foundation will help get you started. Visit michaeljfox.org.
It is My Three Sons, right?
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. This is Uncle Scotty Barter, and welcome to the June 16th edition of the Kenosha Today Weekly Report on Father's Day weekend. Coming to you live from Studio A here at AM 1050 WLIP, spreading the love to over 1.4 million people in the WLIP listening area. See, we're spreading love.
But I like that. You tell me to play My Three Sons, and I play My Three Sons, and then you look at me quizzically like,
I don't know
is
what
that
the song is.
is that My Three Sons?
Well, I thought there was
Do you not know?
Well, it's been a couple years.
Okay.
Excuse me, but I don't remember what I had for lunch yesterday.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were going to play Father's theme from Father's Knows Best.
Yeah.
That'd be next one.
Maybe.
I'll write that down.
We'll cover it. We'll get around to it.
So, Dick, how do you feel about spreading the love to over 1.4 million people?
I'm very interested because I have not spread the love very often at my age anymore.
Welcome to my world.
I seem to recollect in your younger days, though, there was a lot of...
Oh, you don't want to go there.
I was hoping you would not mention anything about that.
Hey, Elmo's the greatest kid around the planet, and who believes him? But if we run short of material, we might have to, go back to our own nostalgia days.
I'll clean it up.
Well, we thought instead of that, on our Father's Day, we were going to get the brutal play-by-play of Uncle Scotty's vasectomy.
The brutal? Why would we want to bring that in? That's why I don't get any more Father's Day cards.
That's right.
I only got the 2. I should. I don't want to go there. That's a great story, but I don't think I need to do that. Anyway, let's move on. We invite you to join the thousands of our fans who have already signed up and have liked us on Facebook. And you talk about some warmth and kindness with that deal. We are brought to you by our major sponsors, the Boathouse Pub and Eatery and Barter's Financial Planning Services, along with a host of other many fine local businesses. Joining us this morning, my relationship advisor, also my doctor, working out of a red panel truck in the Boathouse parking lot, who, by the way, is challenging Donald Trump for this year's Corbell Peace Prize. Elmo is here.
Good morning. I'm working on a new job, too, as cruise director. I told you yesterday we're working on the Scott Barter VIP cruise on the Red Witch.
I think I dated her. No. What happened to Sea Scum? Oh, Dickie, you've never seen our boat, the Sea Scum.
Yeah, that one I have not seen.
It's still in dry dock. The last one, Sea Scum 1, when they winterized it,
was crushed into a dumpster.
It's now part of the Pheasant Run landfill. I remember the time Elmo goes out there to take a picture, and this guy was beating it with a hammer, and he says, "Can I take a picture?" And he goes, "Are you with the city?" He thought he was an inspector. But anyway, Sea Scum 2 will make its way to the harbor. We're not sure once it's over by the boathouse. If we put it in the water, we're not sure it's going to make it over to the yacht club. We missed the blessing of the fleet for this year, but we'll have to have our own blessing. Again, our special guest this morning in his radio debut, last week's Stump the Chumps winner, Dynamite Dickie Baltus is here.
Thank you very much, people. Nice to be with you.
Is the duct tape around your hands and ankles, is that a little uncomfortable for you?
They're a little loose just so I can bend over.
Sounds like you're at home. Make you feel at home, do we? Also, Prince Harry's role model and mentor, he's not here. Spider Ronnie, the camera dude.
We bend over and say thank you.
See, I was wondering if you were still with us.
I was bringing up Father Knows Best. I can only move so fast.
Oh.
Sorry.
And again, engineering and board operating the Kenosha train wreck this morning, as he always does, hanging on our every word. He's the pretty face of WLIP. Wacky Wayne's here from Antioch. I see where Mr. Perry's out working today.
Yeah.
Nice. He's out down at their Nostalgia Days.
Down there at Nostalgia Days,
Nice to see that he's taking an interest in the station. He's getting out and about and mixing and mingling with the people. And
since you only work Saturdays, I guess you only pay attention to Saturdays. And that's okay. I get it.
Is he here any other day?
Like all of them, yeah.
Oh.
Only the ones that end in Y.
Hey, I got it.
The same time you're out at the boathouse, he's actually here.
You know what? Father Marcus made me this big plaque, stenciled, and he's got a picture of a Long Island glass, and it says something, I only have a beverage in the only days ending in Y.
Right.
So I'm proudly displaying that in my house at Barter Manor.
Yes, well, you should.
Yeah. He even gave me one of those things like you stand it up instead of plopping it on the wall.
Yeah. Now, I know I wasn't here last week, and the week before we were talking about a weather bunny. I'm hoping Dick is not your choice for weather bunny. Did I miss something?
Yeah, you did. He is our weather bunny.
He is.
And
did we lose a bet?
No.
I guess so.
He's not your weather bunny in your traditional sense.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you look at him.
Well, that's why the screen's there, so I don't have to.
You know what? With a little lipstick and a little tuck and
the right lighting.
And the right lighting. I think he's got possibilities.
All right.
We got a call?
Yeah.
Good morning. You're on Kenosha Today.
Good morning. This is Pete from Antioch. I was just going to comment on that same thing. I've noticed a trend. We have a Dick sitting in. We had a Peter sitting in. We definitely need a voluptuous Virginia, or else people are going to think there's something weird about this show.
You just now come to that conclusion?
Pretty sure there's something weird about this show. I mean, Aunt Sally here.
Hey, we had this gal.
I also heard you have to check on deceased scum, too, because I heard it sank in dry dock.
That's probably right. Somebody took a leak on it, down it went. Hey, we did have a gal that was supposed to be in here, Sue, I believe her name was, and I sent her a nice email, and she never responded. So,
oh no!
I mean, I offered up equal time, and
well, maybe she was like your Nigerian uncle that has like $1 billion sitting for you, so she might have had a fake email address or something.
Well, it went through, or like Emma says, it could have ended up in her spam deal.
Yeah, I would like to do something a little different.
Sure.
Speaking of being Father's Day and being a father of a 31-year-old man who will be 31 in August, and a 29-year-old young lady who is in her junior year of RN school, I would just like to reflect that, sometimes as dads, you got to reflect on what you've done. I don't mean to throw a little bit of serious in there, but, raising 2 kids and working properly and doing things to actually help out instead of being a pain on society, so to speak. I think it's kind of sometimes reflect and hope that you did your best as a father. Maybe look back at some of the mistakes you did, but hope that, they don't make those mistakes and learn from mistakes, your parents may have done for you and positives they gave you. So.
See, Pete, in my case with my 2 daughters, I very seldom made any mistakes, so it's kind of hard to do that. But my favorite, as long as you brought this up before I forget and go off to another tangent.
Squirrel!
is I wish I had a quarter for every time my daughters, going back to when they were 8 and 10, wanted to borrow money from me.
Yeah.
And say, this is the last time. 10 turns to 12, 12 turns to 16. Now they're in their 40 and 42. I wish I still had a quarter. I'd be a very wealthy man for every time they said, this is the last time that I'm going to borrow money from you. And I'm going to pay you back. Sure you are. So, and my line is, hey, you caught me at a bad time. How's that, Dad? I have it. So what are you going to do? So is that the best advice that your dad gave you? Or what would you do?
My dad pretty much, my dad was fireman in Chicago, so that was in the era when, men were men and sheep were nervous. So, he was a little, he was the old dog, blue dog Democrat, that, we're all for America, but God forbid you vote for a Republican kind of guy, He had to work the 68 riots and, the convention and all that stuff. So and his father died when he was 6, so he didn't know a lot about how things were. So he did things the best he could too. He was in World War II getting out before we were supposed to be going in.
Now you said
He's doing the ending part. So
you said, Pete, when men were men and sheep were nervous. Now you're talking about Gunga. Now you're in his backyard.
I hope you're not in his backyard.
Then you ought to be nervous.
Sure, I can tell you offline, stories about when my mom got a call at 2 in the morning saying, your husband's fine. We got his car keys. He'll be home at 8 in the morning. There was an incident at the local, pubbery downtown with some Dallas Cowboys or some, other policemen or whatever. But he'll be home soon. He'll be all right.
Stuff happens. So, what do you expect? What would you want as a gift for Father's Day? I mean, what do you think is the number one gift?
Well, I got one yesterday. My daughter took me to lunch because she has to study for her finals on Saturday, today, and tomorrow. She's got her finals for clinicals for next week for her nursing school. And my son is going to take me to the NASCAR July 1st in Chicago because they moved it from September to July. So I already pretty much got what I want. Time with them is always fun. So
if we gave you some booze and a naked woman, you'd say no to that?
I think the booze,
Well, then, I got three guys over here who take the naked woman. I mean, two, not counting Dick. He wouldn't do that.
I have no interest in hearing about the on-again, off-again Stormy Daniels show in Chicago. Who could believe it would be on-again, off-again, on-again,
Well, I'm just, forget reading the article. Look at the pictures. Jeez, use your imagination. All right, Pete.
Yeah. All right.
All right, you have a great
weekend. Have a couple weeks off in a little bit.
Hey, by the way, send me some stuff on those two things, those two sponsors.
Will do. I've been very busy.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been on assignment actually doing my full-time job for the last couple of weeks, kind of busy, so I definitely will.
Well, let your wife work. You should take off.
She works full-time, 2 jobs too. So
it's about time.
Lucky
having these women slacking off. All right.
I know.
All right, bye.
All right. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Coming up after the 11:30 break, our weekly editorial segment. This week's it's as the
zygote.
The zygote. That's one of the best parts of the show, Dick.
I'll have to join in sometime.
And by the way, the status of the secret word has not been mentioned today. And if you happen to say the word, we'll send you a $20 Boathouse gift card. And also, the show is being recorded for training purposes, basically. So we agree.
Who are we training? Are you saying you're getting a replacement for me? I'll be free Saturday mornings? What?
No. Is there another call here?
It looks like you got 2.
Well, let's take one.
Wow.
One at a time.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Good morning on Kenosha Today.
Hey, good morning. It's Irish Ruth.
Dick, this is for you.
Hello.
Okay. I just thought I would pause for a moment to let you catch your breath.
Thank you.
Well, I would like to say thank the fathers and grandfathers who attended the Kenosha Pops concert and all of the members, volunteer members of the Kenosha Pops concerts. Thank you, Pops.
Okay.
That was one of the flower arrangements for my
You're breaking up again.
stepfather.
You're breaking up again. Did we lose her again?
Damn atmospheric conditions.
Boy, you know what? I told Mr. Perry to put more tinfoil on that antenna there.
On that antenna.
All right. Good morning on Kenosha Today. Who's this?
Well, good morning, Mr. Barter.
Who's this?
Harry.
Who?
Good.
Oh, Harry! I'm sorry. How's things up in the upper beyond?
Hello again, Elmo. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic.
Well, did anybody give the weather update today?
Well, we'll let you do it.
It's partly cloudy with a lot of ice up here.
Ice?
It's kind of warm outside.
I thought it's always balmy and 85 degrees up where you are.
Well,
or have you relocated?
All that Budweiser cold.
Yeah. Oh, you got to keep the Budweiser cold, right?
That's right. And a public service out there, all of you other fans of Anheuser-Busch and Budweiser, make sure to have plenty of ice on a day like today.
So, Harry, what time are you on? It's 11:45 Central Time. What time are you on up there?
I don't keep track of time.
Okay, so you're into the Budweiser already at this point in your day? It sounds like you are.
Why not?
I
It's
know.
5 o'clock somewhere.
That's right.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
I've got my own Anheuser-Busch tree here.
See.
We always got fresh 12-ounce cans.
Hey, now you've been in broadcasting a lot of years, and Dickie Baltus is making his radio debut. You got any advice for him?
I thought you guys were off the air already. You guys are still broadcasting. That's a joke.
Well, got to have a sense of humor, you know.
Hey, do you know who's pitching today for St. Louis?
No, but who?
A kid by the name of Carlos Martinez.
Spell that backwards, Harry.
Martinez is Zenit.
Boy.
R-M. Martinez spelled backwards.
You haven't missed a beat.
Boy,
you're sharp as a tack, Harry.
As long as the cans are still cold, buddy.
And you know what? Brickhouse didn't think you'd amount to much.
Don't say that name. I gotta go. Here he comes.
Okay. All right, Harry. Thanks for the call. Harry Carey from the
Great Beyond.
Great Beyond here. Let's see. Where was I? Oh, we started to say for training purposes. You know when you call tech support or something?
Sure.
This call will be recorded for training purposes.
Right.
Well,
this show is being recorded for training purposes.
I don't know.
Here you had me all excited.
Oh.
Potty training.
Potty training.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, we started to say this is going to be replayed at noon, right? And,
sure.
And
Tomorrow.
Also in case we get subpoenaed, then you can
whip out everything and
whip out everything. Yeah.
No, let's not do that.
Special thanks to Elmo. You can find the Kenosha Today Show 365 days a year, 24/7, and of course, after the 11 o'clock break, this week's top 10 thought-provoking category: the top 10 ways to make Father's Day more exciting. And now, boys and girls, it's time to play Kenosha's fastest-growing game show sensation, the lightning round of City in Jeopardy, sponsored by the Boathouse Pub and Eatery. And to be eligible, no one from your household could have won any contest on WLP within the last 60 days. Phone lines are now cleared, and I'm going to read the question, which is a very sophisticated, intelligent, multiple-choice question. Are you with me so far, Dick?
Yes, I am.
I saw you nodding. I didn't know if you're...
Yes.
Don't hit your head on the table, or then get three somewhat intellectual answers to choose from. After that, you will hear the ding. And the first caller to correctly answer the question wins a Kenosha Today $25 gift certificate to the Boathouse Pub and Eatery. Actually, you're probably thinking you should have just taken the cash instead of coming in here, right?
There was a cash option?
I didn't tell him that one.
I didn't hear that.
Gotta hear the fine print.
Right. Yeah.
Boathouse Pub and Eatery, located at 4917 7th Avenue here in Kenosha. Open Monday through Friday at 11 a.m., featuring weekly lunch and dinner specials. Enjoy a beautiful waterfront view and stop in for their big Saturday and Sunday morning breakfast specials. And by the way, tomorrow, being Father's Day, they're having a big, the Father's Day Ultimate Breakfast Buffet. Tomorrow, serving from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Adults are $14. Kids 10 and under are $6. Under 4 is free. And they've got crusted broiled bassa. What the heck's bassa?
I think it's sea bass.
Sea bass, okay. And then they have a chef's carving station, bacon and sausage, American fries, Denver scrambled eggs, biscuits and gravy, French toast, and Bloody Marys and mimosas for only $3. Anyway, you better call them for a reservation, 262-654-9922. And if you're also having a party or planning you can, Dick, you can have a wedding down there and a funeral lunch and get a discount.
I'm closer to the funeral.
Okay.
No witty repartee on that one, Scotty? All right.
Well, he come in here a man, and we want to make sure he doesn't walk out a little kid like the rest of us. I'm done with that page. Okay. Squirrel! I lose my train of thought here.
Today, huh?
All right, here's the sophisticated question. What is the number one sign that school is finally out here in Kenosha? A, the Kenosha News is reduced to one page of birthdays and obituaries. They play all of this. They had everybody's graduation under the sun and, filled it up with pictures.
Nice.
And B, metal detectors are freed up and now being used for trolley riders. And C, nuclear warheads finally removed from all the classrooms. First caller, 262-694-1050. What is the number one sign that school is finally out here in Kenosha? Well, we have a caller. I'll take that. Good morning on Kenosha today. Who's this?
Oh, this is Donnie.
Donnie, my man.
Hey, Donnie.
How you been?
Oh, we've been fine. We've been fine. Let me read this, Donnie.
Sure.
What is the number one sign that school is finally out here in Kenosha? A, Kenosha News is reduced to one page of birthdays and obituaries. B, metal detectors are freed up and now being used as trolley riders. And C, nuclear warheads are finally removed from all the classrooms. Donnie, what's your answer?
Oh, it's got to be A, our glorious Kenosha News.
Is reduced to just one page of birthdays and obituaries. Yes, another winner. You know, something's happened to the Kenosha News lately, and far be it from me to say anything derogatory about them.
Yeah, if you say anything, you might end up on the front page again.
Oh, you had to bring that up, didn't you?
Just saying.
You know, I'm not done with those characters down there, by the way. My day is going to be heard, and...
your day will be heard?
My day will be heard. My story will be heard.
And, your story will be told?
And if I got to go to court, which I'm probably going to...
it's good to have goals.
I am upset with that.
I could imagine.
I mean, if my name were Freddie Jackson... That one has seen the light of day. Oh, Donnie, I'm sorry. You're still here. I'm so sorry. Gosh, I'm
the whole city's behind you.
No. Oh, my God, I apologize. I did this to Shirley one time. I went on 10 minutes and went on to something else, and I'm looking at the light still lit.
That's okay.
Anyway, I have a attention span of a gnat. But anyway, Donnie, thanks for playing. And off the air, Wacky Wayne's going to...
Somebody.
Wacky Wayne's going to get your name. I have it on file, but I'll send it out to you on Monday and get down to the boathouse again.
Yeah, I want to give you a little comment about the best advice my father ever gave me.
Sure, what?
The first punch is 3/4 of the fight.
So, Dick's been married. He's currently married right now, so you listen to that, Dick? When you nail her, put her down. Put her down quick.
That's why you marry women smaller than you.
Great advice, Donnie. Great advice. All right, off the air, he's going to get that.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Emma, you want to read Pete's? Sure. You got your glasses?
Pete's Union Park Tavern, located at 4528th Avenue, Kenosha, right across from Union Park, is the place for great libations, food, and music. Famous for their Friday night fish fry, voted best of Kenosha County every year since 2012. Pete's Union Park Tavern also serves great roasted chicken Saturdays, breakfast and lunch Sundays, authentic Cornish pasties, and homemade soup on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and has a great selection of beers, wines, spirits, and cocktails. Pete's Union Park Tavern has the best musical entertainment around, featuring bands on Fridays and Saturdays, karaoke Tuesday, open mic night on Thursday, and piano jams on Sunday afternoons. Open 365 days a year from 8 a.m. until closing, except for Friday when they open at 7 in the morning. It's Pete's Union Park Tavern, 4528th Avenue, Kenosha, right across from Union Park. And music tonight. Elvis is at Pete's tonight. David Kirby.
David Kirby, all right. And
he's there, and this is an aside. They did a test run of Pasta Thursdays this week, so looks like that'll be starting up pretty soon.
We talked to their Sunday afternoon piano player this week at a production meeting, Cy Costabile.
Yes.
Oh, he's razor sharp. Boy, that guy's got it together. And we might have to invite him, because he's been playing right outside in the park. They have one of those pianos, right?
Right.
And so Cy's been out there.
I actually did play the one in Union Park last Saturday.
You did?
So, yep. It's not too bad, actually.
I asked Cy how the piano was. He says it only took me an hour to find the park. But other than that, you can get confused in that neighborhood.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Very good. Look at the very good penmanship.
Not bad today. All right.
Very good penmanship. All right. We got a couple minutes. We got another call here.
Yeah.
All right. Good morning. You're on Kenosha today.
Yes, this is Ganga from Libertyville.
Gunga, my man.
Hello.
I would like to invite you and your guest to the Pakistani World Championship of Nose Picking.
Oh my God! I'm going to start tearing up now.
That's exactly it. Oh my God! That's what they say when they pull the first one out.
So where is this going to be held?
That would be in Vernon Hills.
Oh, jeez. Now, no offense to those people in Vernon Hills, right? Because we don't want to upset them.
Yes.
Right.
So, what are you going to get?
That's what I'm worried about, yes, I'm sure.
How do you celebrate Father's Day in Pakistan? You get a new turban or you get a new fresh camel or what?
Well, first we hold the nose picking event. Then we hold the loudest fart contest.
Well, you guys know how to put on a party, don't you?
Oh yes, yes. There's two winners. And then we have a feast of whatever's left over.
I don't know if you heard Pistol Pete from Antioch call in. He was talking about his dad, and his dad was a working man, and when men were men and sheep were nervous. And I said, that's right up your in your neighborhood, right?
Yes, being a former sheep herder myself, yes. I've retired my yellow boots.
Good call. Good call.
Yes, and stepladder.
And stepladder. So how much, what's the best advice your father gave you? Or do you have how many fathers did you have?
I had one.
It's a trick question. I was just seeing if you were paying attention.
Yes, that would, unlike yourselves.
So we were talking about Father's Day gifts and, some of the boring stuff, work-related items, sports-related. Would you be receptive to the booze and a naked woman?
I would be receptive to both. Well, actually, she will be receptive.
So you're the number one dad, all those T-shirts that we say, that we see, number one dad.
Drunk.
That's what? Number one.
I am so butt ugly, I must get them drunk first. So I will take the bottle of booze first, and then I will apply it to her.
Oh, kind of a rub-down deal, right?
She'll get it through osmosis.
Did you really have that happen to you? It's an old guy's thing. Well, she looked better the more I had to drink. Did you ever have a woman? Of course, you've been married 9 times. Or are you up to 10 yet?
Yeah, I'm still at 9 holding.
Do you ever have that thought, Scott? Because we're going to get cut off.
We're going to get cut off. Gunga, you can call me back later, or God love you.
Yes, I will talk to you later, gentlemen. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Gunga. Yeah, we don't want to get cut off. You were going to get into a story, then all of a sudden we were going to be cut off.
For another round?
All right, we'll go to news.
Kent, the only cigarette with a micronite filter. Kent Regular and the new king-size Kent present the story of a man, his home, and his family. Starring Robert Young.
The original Father's Knows Best theme.
Jane Wyatt.
Sponsored by
a cigarette company.
Which
we're not supposed to do either, right?
No longer in business, yeah.
Eleanor Donahue, Billy Gray, and
how much trouble can we get in with that?
I'll probably get fired.
Father Knows Best.
No harm, no foul. Good morning, everybody. If you just joined us, this is Uncle Scotty Barter, and welcome to the June 16th Pick-to-Click edition of the Kenosha Today Weekly Report. Broadcasting live from Studio A here at AM 1050 WLIP on your radio dial. Being brought to you by our major sponsors, the Boathouse Pub and Eatery and Barter's Financial Planning Service, along with a host of other very fine local businesses. Now, Dick, as you can tell, we take serious journalism to an all-time high, as you can tell.
I am glad to be with the movers and shakers of Kenosha.
Movers and shakers, that's us. we should put a song together, like a rap song. Moving and shaking, boom, chicka, chicka, boom, chicka.
Oh yeah, gonna rush right out to buy that one. Yeah. I can't wait till that single hits the red hot airwaves.
Well, I just made it up. I mean, it needs a little polish. Spanning the globe. What?
A little.
Reporting on national stories, state stories, local issues. On occasion, Dick, we might stretch things and make things up. So if you have to make something up, feel free to join in and do whatever you want to do here.
Why should we be any different than any other news?
Aha! There you go. Dick from
commentary.
Yeah, Dynamo Dick from the Beyond the Three-Point Arc there. Also, if you just joined us, this year's soon-to-be named Corbell Peace Prize winner, Elmo Snyder.
Good morning.
And Dynamite Dickie Baltus is here taking broadcasting world by storm. Somebody mentioned Stormy Daniels. Did you mention? Oh, someone of our callers mentioned Stormy. Pete.
I thought that was the moving and shaking part.
Right.
Yeah. You wait till the day she comes in here.
I'm waiting patiently.
Well, this is just this Dick here is just he's not just a pretty face. He's got it up here. You can tell, right?
I will be entering that contest again.
Good morning, you're in Kenosha today. Nope.
Hello.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay, hello.
It's Irish Ruth. I'd like to give a thing about my father.
Well, make
By all
it
means.
snappy. I'm right in the middle of a bit here. Go ahead.
Well, his favorite song was On the Sunny Side of the Street. And because I lost him, he was the featherweight champion for the city of New Orleans and went into the Marine Corps and gave up his boxing gloves for the Marine Corps. And I would like to say that I think the message that he would have wanted me to leave behind for him would have been that I would be as nice as Cindy as so I could bring blessings to my family.
Okay. Well, thank you there, Ruthie.
Oh, also,
Oh, no,
I have
wait.
no intent.
Go ahead. Make it
Also, I have no intentions of making up with you. I keep my distance.
You don't want to make out with Scotty?
Oh,
No,
boy. Now
make up.
my
Make
world
out.
is
I didn't
crushed.
say make out.
Make
I
out?
said make
Okay.
up.
I'm going to write
Make
that
out.
down.
Got it.
Irish Ruth is
That's
upset with me.
She wants to make out with Scotty. Ruth, I
Cut
don't
her
know
off.
about
Cut
you.
her off. Hit the dump button. Hit the cancellation. Whatever. I mean, my world is crushed now.
Well, you should be sad that she doesn't want to make out with you.
Well, how about you, Dick?
Oh, you want to make out with Dick?
No.
No. All right, Dick. You
What do
didn't
you think
know
I
this
got
was
him
part of
taped
the
to the
show.
chair here for?
Dim the lights.
Hand up his knee.
Now, I had a question. What was I going to ask you?
Squirrel!
How would you, we've all been jilted, the woman of your dreams, or, maybe back in the infatuation days. I'm going to try to get myself out of this. You just, don't go away now. When you've been crushed by someone that you really wanted to be with and she sent you packing. How do you take that?
You give them half your stuff and leave.
Community property state. Look at them laughing over there. I told them I've been kicked to the curb so many times. My garbage men look forward to putting a toe tag on me on Monday mornings. Spider is not here.
He's not.
And I was going to ask you, as I do every week at this point in time, is there any reason the Lord should be weeping? And after that last call,
because
that probably-
Ruth just won't make out with you. I'm so sad. It's really high hopes that'll be in the highlight reel of the Kenosha Today Show on Channel 14.
My self-esteem is just shattered. I won't get over this. I'm going to be scarred for
at least 12 more minutes. Till that first iced tea hits the lips.
Ooh. Status of this morning's Secret Word Challenge, sponsored by Barter's Financial Planning Services, has not been suggested or said. And if you happen to say it, you will win a $20 Secret or Boathouse gift card. 262-694-1050. And we're taking your calls, letting you pay tribute to your dad or anything else Father's Day related. And please tell me your father wasn't George Custer and your mother was Libby, because I know how that deal ended. Irish Ruth has told us, I don't know how many.
At least once or twice.
Yeah, at least once or twice. And what you think is a good Father's Day gift. Oh. And so far, Booze and Naked Women is right on there. Good morning on Kenosha Today.
Yes, this is Ganga again.
Yeah, Ganga.
You're discussing religion right up my alley.
We were?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
I was wondering if you had ever been violated by a bartender or waiter, the men of the cloth.
I don't think we want to go there, Gunga, but I got to tell you, I was just violated if you just heard Irish Ruth call.
Yes, and that's what brought me to this subject.
She's done with me, apparently, and I don't know, counsel me, big fella. How do I take this?
Sounds like you're the real winner here.
Well, I guess you could spin it that way. Yeah,
it's all matter of perspective.
Yeah, right.
I would say jackpot. Maybe she'll never call again.
Well, there's only one thing that could top that. You know what that would be?
What might that be?
Shirley not calling.
Oh, the flower of Kenosha. You may not talk about her that way.
No,
She's the most lovely flower in all of Wisconsin.
Gunga is going to bring Clyde down here to spit on you.
Are you in some of that Pakistani wine this morning?
I've been smoking some hooch.
Yeah, I can tell. Well, okay.
Have a wonderful Father's Day, gentlemen.
Okay.
Thank you, Gunga. You do the same.
Thank you.
Smoking.
I think you drank hooch.
That's what I did. This is Pakistan. They do things a little different. I think he probably he smokes the hooch and his Camel Clyde probably drinks it. I mean, I'm just guessing. I'm not familiar with Pakistani customs.
Sure.
As he is.
Yeah, no.
Here we go.
We're ready.
Dick, written in our home office at Amen Corner on the deck of the Woodhouse Pub and Eatery, this week's top 10 thought-provoking category. Now, I got to take my time. I got a minute to kill.
How'd you do last week?
I could have read it twice.
Okay.
See, but
Yeah,
I get the adrenals.
I know,
and I
right.
just get this rush, and my armpits start to sweat, and
All right.
I haven't had anything in the alcoholic beverages.
Okay.
So I mean, I just go nuts here. But I got a minute to take this.
Minute and 8 seconds, technically.
I'm going to have to start adding another 10 or 5.
Right, and or slow down, one or the other.
all right,
or make them wordier.
Enunciate.
Give pauses between each one or the other.
I tell you what, Dix, this is his radio
Debut. Yeah.
I'll let him do it.
Well, I don't know if you
He can read.
Can he read what you wrote there?
It's typed.
Yeah,
And
well,
most of the words
everything else you do is typed too, and nobody can read it.
Well, let's give him a shot.
All right.
You could be up for a what do we get? Grammys or
No, you get nothing.
Well, I mean, what is radio?
Yeah, nothing.
Lenny Palmer wins all these awards all the time. What is it?
Wisconsin's Broadcasters
You
Association
can do
prizes.
this.
Yeah, okay.
Make your mom proud. Make your wife proud.
All right.
All right. He's going to play some background noise. You can read this, and then you go ahead. Go ahead.
Alrighty, the top 10 ways to make Father's Day more exciting. 10. Tell Maury Povich that he is the father. Number 9. Hide his remote control. 8. Trolley drivers now claiming they are all transgender. 7. Arrange that he gets married to Roseanne Barr. 6. Barbecuing fresh Korean roadkill with the Trumpster and one dump chump. And 5. Renaming it Big Daddy Palooza. Number 4, coming up. Free passes to visit the Superheroes Museum at Pervert's World. And 3, personalized gifts from the adult bookstore. Number 2, putting Dennis Rodman in charge of foreign relations. And the number 1 way to make Father's Day more exciting, let us leave the toilet seat up 365 days a year.
All right.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Not too bad.
Oh, very good. He ended up right on time, too. Give or take a second.
Yeah, a little bit long, but that's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
He did fine.
Right.
I think you're going to be up for some kind of radio broadcasting award. But
All you have to do is submit it, Scotty.
What is that, a very important award or something like that?
Very potent award.
Yes.
VIP. Well, you're wait till you get home and all your family, and wait till they see you at the next barbecue or the Thanksgiving dinner. They'll let you sit at the kids' table now. You're going back that way. That's where you're going to be.
Thank you.
Well, look at the boys and girls. Oh, actually, before we get to that, we're still taking your calls. Tribute, shout out to your dad, best memory, a story about your dad, and the best thing you learned from your dad, and what you think is a good Father's Day gift. Right now, the consensus is booze and naked women, but that's just, we're not done calculating all those work-related items, sports-related, home tools, grilling, taking to brunch, or if you have another special suggestion on that. And here's a little deal. You can't play twice in a row, Dick.
Okay.
Because if you win, then you got to come back next week.
Well, thanks a lot.
Punishment.
Yeah, punishment. Hey, look, boys and girls, the clock on the wall here at Studio A says it's 11:18, and everybody knows what that means. It's time for all our listeners to strut their stuff and to try and stump the chumps. And if you're successful in stumping the chumps, you will then have the privilege, like Dick here, and high honor of joining us here as a guest host on an upcoming show. Boy, it don't get much better than that, does it, Dan?
No, sir.
Talk a little clearer into the... You're mumbling again. This is a huge opportunity for our audience to bring something of intelligence, like Dick did, sophistication, and prove to the rest of the Kenosha Today Nation that we are barely smarter than a fifth grader. I guess we don't really have to clear the phone lines.
No,
we
we're
never
pretty
had that
good.
problem.
Yeah.
We're going to take your trivia question or a song title, and the first caller to successfully stump the chumps will join us. And which, by the way, this chumps this morning consists of Dickie here and Mr. Elmo and Wanky Wayne and myself. Okay, you can call us 262-694-1050. I remember one of the first times we ever did that. The first caller says, Pat Benatar.
Right, like we're the ones stumping them. Yeah.
It's called, I think they call it dumbing down, right?
Right,
Anyway,
play to your audience.
We'll wait. A couple other things that I wanted to get to is tall ships are coming back to Kenosha next summer. And that was always a great event when they'd have 6 of them. And then they'd come down the channel and the bombs were bursting in air and all the crowd was going nuts.
Yeah.
And but they need it's a pretty good cost to do this.
Yeah.
And now they got a couple sponsors to do this. And
I was going to say that's my idea for the Scott Barter VIP cruise on the Red Witch is to raise money to pay for the tall ships. So we've got a special event on there that people will pay lots of money for. So,
yes.
Are you familiar with the term keel hauling? Scott Barter will be keel hauled on the cruise.
So where does the fun come in?
Well, it's for everybody else, Scott. I'm sorry, you're not part of the fun.
Go on
You're
the cruise
attraction.
and watch Uncle Scotty get keel hauled.
Wouldn't it be better just to have a raffle or a silent auction or something?
It doesn't raise enough money. This will raise thousands.
Why do you coming up with this thing that involves me?
Because you're the host. You're the face of Kenosha today.
Yeah. I know you're going to bring up the newspaper thing.
No, I don't have to. I did it once. Once was enough.
And now where was I going with this? Oh, the Red Witch was here last summer. Is going to be here again.
Okay.
And why don't we should do a show from the Red Witch. But I get seasick, so I can't go out beyond the end of the pier.
You do it from the pier right in front of the boat?
Yeah. Oh, I can get on the boat as long as it ain't, wavy.
Like in the water? Okay.
No, it can be in the water, but, as a kid, I always had to take Dramamine, and I have a very weak stomach, you see.
Right.
And
the weak constitution?
The weak constitution. It wasn't good enough to get me out of the Army, but...
No.
You in the Army, Dick?
No, sir.
Okay, well, you missed a great time. And then, of course, the Food Folks and Spokes is coming up. I think that's next week. Yeah,
Thursday.
June 21st, next Thursday,
yep.
in Library Park. And, both of these events are what Kenosha likes, free events.
Right.
Except for when the tall ships come, they want to probably get $15 to get on the boat.
Right, you can go look at the boats. You just won't be able to get on them without throwing some money around. Because it does cost some money to get them up here.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
next year it's going to be on August 1st, going back to the tall ships.
Yeah.
And the Parade of Sails. That's when all the ships come down the harbor.
Oh, okay.
I think we should get the Sea Scum operational by then.
Sea Scum 2?
Sea Scum 2. And
Sea Scum is gone. We can't bring that one back, Scott.
No, that's
There's
toast.
no resurrection there.
No, that's landfill material.
Yeah.
Right now.
Sea Scum 2, maybe.
Oh, yeah, it's sitting right there on the trailer, right?
We got to start the Kickstarter fund for a new paddle.
I asked somebody, one of these kids at the boathouse, if he'd go down and take a look underneath the cover, and there could be raccoons and
all manner of stuff in there.
Snakes
Yeah.
and skunks and what'd you say?
Vermin.
Yeah, the verminites too.
Yeah.
And so anyway, where am I at here? Jump the steps. Well, I was going from the grants for the Food Folks and Spokes. Oh, I started to say about Kenosha likes the free events.
Right.
And there's some events going on downtown on Simmons Island. And there's
the big beach party this weekend.
Big beach party, and then they have music, I think it's today and tomorrow. And the Bloomin' band's over at the Moose Club.
Yeah.
And, they used to have the best place for the Bloomin' bands was on right next to what I call the grassy knoll there, which is kitty corner from the City Hall.
Okay.
But the city wanted to charge them like $7,000 to put up the fence.
Right.
Because they were serving beer, and
Right.
this is Kenosha, and everybody has to be treated like cattle.
Right.
And we can't, God forbid, somebody has a beer. I mean, like that fence was going to, but so they went to the Moose Club, who generously donated their grounds, and they've got
nice.
a whole bunch of good things going on out there. Seeing this is the festival season starts.
Yeah. So
And,
weather's nice.
You go to the festivals, Dick?
Everyone that I possibly can attend.
Well, there's a festival going on, like I said, this week, and then you get to your church festivals.
Oh, yeah.
And then we're going to have Cheeselpalooza, and Frank Carmichael's got a bunch of things going on down there. And then the grill games. And then there's...
Didn't they rename that?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
something else now. Yep.
We should enter a a booth in the grill games. Elmo's got a bunch of recipes that we could take down there.
Oh, yeah?
Fry up a little roadkill.
Sure.
And season it just right.
Just right. Nobody needs to know. Or everybody needs to know.
Oh, they'll know when they eat it.
Not if you do it right.
And then Taste of Wisconsin. Or is it, what was renamed? The grill games?
Grill games.
Grill games.
Okay. So anyway, that's all that stuff is going on this week. You know what the 50th anniversary is before we go to the break? This is the 50th anniversary of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Really?
And some of the facts that Fred Rogers is just revealing how much he cared and how he put everything that he had into Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Yeah.
Very similar how I put everything into Mr. Barter's Neighborhood.
Oh, for sure.
And now, Dick, you might want to take a note on this one. And over at Barter Manor, when it gets to Halloween, I don't want those little snot-nosed kids coming over and knocking on Mr. Barter's door. So I put extra alligators in the moat around, and we don't feed them for a month. And we put an extra charge in the concertina wire that surrounds it. I actually give the guards in the tower a bullet, one each. So I don't have little snot-nosed kids coming to Mr. Barter's Neighborhood. And but unlike Fred Rogers, you know, he gets between 50 and 100 letters a day. Hell, that sounds like my hate mail. And the subpoenas that I get more than that. But I guess he's still on. You know what we used to do back when we did the TV show thing on Mr. Barter's Neighborhood? We should dig that out one of these days. But some of Fred Rogers' deals were state the idea you wish to express as clearly as possible in terms preschoolers can understand. That's me. That's pretty much I do that, right?
Well, very much so, yes.
Rephrase in a positive manner, and it's good to play where it's safe. Rephrase the idea, bearing in mind that preschoolers cannot yet make subtle little distinctions and need to be redirected. Rephrase your idea. It's a bunch of crap, isn't it? I mean, who operates like this? But Fred Rogers has been on TV for a long time, and God love him.
Was
on TV? Okay.
Yeah, he stopped making the shows in 2001, and then he passed away in 2003.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
I thought he got better, but maybe he didn't.
No.
You know those deals where you see on TV and you can send in your DNA to some place and they see who you're related to?
Sure.
You know, like Irish Ruth, for example, sends her DNA and she's related to Libby Custer. Yep. She said it right here a number of times. Well, this guy, CBC News did an investigation, found out this was a scam. Can you believe that? A scam on the internet? And found out that they were you send in your DNA and they'd send you a picture of somebody famous. You guys have any idea when I sent my DNA and who I was related to?
Oh, God, no. Who are you related to, I wonder?
It was Benny the Backyard Beaver. They sent me a picture of him. Anyway, I was trying to bring... this is one more before I go. This is... Is this the one you sent? Oh, you didn't send me that one. Which one did you send me? Oh, that was the one on the marijuana.
The marijuana in Hawaii. Yep.
This is in... guy's name is Wee Willie Dangles. This is out in California someplace. He's been nicknamed this, apparently.
I was going to say that's his birth-given name.
No.
No.
I'm going to get to the story why it's going.
No, okay.
Don't rush me now.
Okay.
Wee Willie Dangles. Authorities are on the lookout for a man they say has gone into multiple stores, and he strips himself naked, and then he walks around the store.
Okay.
And described as the police are calling him. They nicknamed him Wee Willie Dangles.
Right.
Described as a white male in his 50s, salt and pepper hair, wearing eyeglasses. That don't look like me, does it?
Thankfully, I can't see the picture. Oh, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Look like me. From the waist down.
You should probably put the your glasses back on, Scott,
I can't
so
read
you
with
can
my
see.
glasses on. Seriously, I can't.
Okay.
Anyway, the guy's a heavy-set man alleged to have entered a number of stores, remove his shirt and shorts, and proceeded to walk laps in the store. I think what's the if this guy did this in Kenosha, what's the fine for doing that?
Well, I think you get elected mayor.
This is my campaign. No wonder I didn't win.
You should try that.
Why did I try this? I could wear one of those things with the things on the front and the back, you know, elect Scotty Barter mayor. And
sandwich board?
Sandwich board, yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Well, the other plan didn't work for twice. So
Right.
I can go.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah. Well, anyway, nobody wanted to play Stump the Chumps in this half hour, so we'll put it off.
All right.
I think Dick probably is feeling sorry for you. Oh, you know what? Before I go, I should read a sponsor here, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Big thank you to the Boathouse Pub and Eatery, 4917 7th Avenue, open Mondays through Fridays at 11 a.m., featuring weekly lunch and dinner specials. You know, before I finish, I just wanted to check and see if I had a caller on the line for the last 10 minutes that I put on hold.
Right.
But I'm glad.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
You did okay.
Along with reduced prices during the happy hour from 3 to 6. Mondays through Fridays, the Boathouse also features 30 specialty beers on tap. And enjoy a beautiful waterfront view and stop in for their big Saturday and Sunday morning breakfast and Bloody Mary specials. And, of course, tomorrow, Father's Day Ultimate Breakfast Buffet starting from 9 a.m. to 1. Adults are only 14. And they're having a chef's carving station, bacon and sausage, American fries, Denver scrambled eggs, biscuits and gravy, French toast, Bloody Marys, and mimosas, only $3. Call them for a reservation, 262-654-9922. You know, I questioned, back in Mother's Day, they had 3 times as much to offer. And the price was $21.
Yeah.
And I said to Mr. Matzos, what's this about? And he goes, Father's Day, all you get is barely beans and franks. That's about it. See, that's why Father's Day isn't important.
Right.
But that's why good fathers would lean more to taking the booze and a naked woman. I mean,
for sure.
What's the $14 going to get me?
Right.
I mean, but you go to the Boathouse, you have a great meal.
Right.
But I would give up the Boathouse, maybe not, for a booze and a naked woman. But
No, you
Elmo,
wouldn't.
you're going to we'll have to get Captain Mike with us.
It's the naked woman. What do you got going on over? First, you're talking about replacing Irish Ruth making out with you with Dick. Now you're talking about getting Mike as a woman. You know what? Let's take this break. Ponder what you're saying, and then we'll come back and bring it all back. We'll tie it up with a nice bow. End this nicely.
Okay.
The Lenny Palmer Show, weekday mornings 8 till noon.
Well, I spent Father's Day. They buy me gifts, but I'm the one who pays. I'd go to a strip club if I could get away, but I'm stuck right here on Father's Day. Why I
Play a little more
have
of this. I don't
to
get chastised.
go, I don't know. It's a lame-ass holiday. I get ties and socks of painted rocks on Father's Day. Father's Day. This year my kid bought me a bag to pay. That hot waitress thinks that I'm old and gray. I'm trapped in hell on Father's Day.
Oh, I have no idea who it is. I'll have to ask.
Well, that's great. We are back and heading down the home stretch on the Kenosha Today trolley ride this morning. If you just joined us, this is the June 16th edition of the Kenosha Today Weekly Report. Coming to you live and streaming worldwide and to over 1.4 million people residing in the WLIP listing area. What do you think, Dick? Streaming worldwide. We've had people call from Florida, the Ozarks, and Sturtevant, and Montana. Impressive, huh?
I am waiting for the next call from South Carolina.
Do you know anybody in South Carolina? Oh.
Yes, I do.
Oh, well, give a shout out to he or she. Tell them to call now.
Jeff, have a good day. Give me a holler someday.
262?
Preferably now.
262-694-1050, Jeff. Is this a friend of yours, or?
Yes, I played music with him for many years. I still associate with him. It's a free place to stay when I need a vacation.
Now you're kissing up to Jeff, right?
Yes.
All right, Jeff, call us. We're begging you. Or anybody else for that matter.
Scott's run out of papers to go through.
We're being brought to you by our major sponsors, the Boathouse Pub and Eatery and Barter's Financial Planning Services, along with a host of many other very fine local businesses. This morning's cast of characters, Elmo Schneider, and of course, Dynamo Dickie Baltus making his radio debut. You know, he did that top 10. Man, he's polished.
Oh, yeah?
Polished.
Take some lessons from him.
Yeah, and he's got fans all over the country.
Yeah.
Does this guy owe you money? Or do you owe him money?
No, neither way.
Not with us this morning from the Galaxy Spider Dome, the Love Doctor / Cabana Boys will be back next week. And along with our engineer board operator, Wacky Wayne, still all jacked up that the state of Wisconsin has made the roadkill season 365 days. Boy, that makes your day, right?
Ah, how could I go wrong? I love when roadkill season keeps going.
Just keeps going on and on.
Speaking of on and on, you want to take a call?
Sure. Good morning, you're in Kenosha today.
Good morning. It's Irish Ruth.
She's called back to get into your good graces.
Can you tell me if the call from South Carolina is from Myrtle Beach?
No, it is from Aiken.
Okay.
That's what you're doing to me, Ruth. You're aching me.
My head is aching.
My head is aching, God.
If you get a call from Myrtle Beach, would you ask them if the goddess of the Statue of Liberty could come and stay for free?
We'll pay you your way to go down there.
When send help.
After you rescind your previous negative statements about Scott.
Yeah,
not
you hurt
making
my
out
feelings.
With him.
I can't take that back.
You don't want to make out with him.
That would be defeat.
That's mean.
That's not worth the price. That's too priced glory for me.
Oh God, don't we have a?
Well, anyway, I was almost getting envious, thinking you were getting a call from Myrtle Beach and you got to stay there for free.
He said South Carolina. He didn't say Myrtle Beach. You got to focus more.
All right. Well, it's Myrtle Beach that you want.
Okay, we get it. We get it.
Stay. Goodbay.
We're on the 3-call limit now, the minimum. I mean.
All right, the minimum. So she needs to call a couple more times. That's the maximum.
All right. The boathouse has
a 2-drink minimum.
That's what I'm thinking. I got that confused too.
2-drink minimum. Okay.
God, you know that. Why do you take that?
Because you were desperate for calls. You were just like complaining, like, "Oh, I need to talk to somebody. I'm all out of papers."
Well, who listens to me? Obviously nobody. So
Irish Ruth did. She called in.
Yeah, she's trying to get on my good side.
Right.
By the way, where's Aiken?
It's just outside the hurricane zone. It's within a short distance of the ocean and Charlotte, and it's a very big party area there, and very full of American history.
What's the biggest American history that was down there?
There's all kinds of stuff from the Civil War and the Revolutionary War, and I like to say I stood in the same room that George Washington did.
Well, he's mighty proud of you.
Good, I'm sure.
That's how he started in the radio too, about the same time. Hey, do they have these? You said they party down there. They have these like beaches with these scantily clad young gals with no stretch marks and varicose veins walking around down there.
We were not there exactly beach time, but they do dress very nicely down there.
Of course, being married, you probably didn't notice or take any pictures.
Oh.
No, beauty is much more than skin deep. Yep.
This is your last performance here. I hate to tell you that. We had an hour and a half to try to corrupt you, and you're going to go home and you're going to be married and you're going to love it and you're going to call me back. And can I play Stump the Chump so I can win and come kill out 2 hours and get out of the house again? Now where was I? Oh, the status of the secret word to win $20 Boathouse gift card from Barter's Financial Planning Services is yet to be named. Elmo, you got a...
Yes, I have a clue.
Okay. Because I don't.
The word today is part of a pro wrestler's nickname.
Oh. Irish Ruth. Wrestled under the name of Gummy Bear or what? I don't know.
Now you're just making stuff up.
Yeah, now I'm running out of paper. So, and now, boys and girls, it's time to play this week's.
No, we're not playing.
No, it's time for the.
We're doing a highlight.
I'm reading words that aren't even in here. So.
We doing all highlights this week, or do we actually have highlights?
We have a high five, a zinger, and a doofus.
All right.
This morning's headliner is as the
zygote turns.
As like the sands in the hourglass in the days of our lives. This week's high five goes to St. Joseph's High School boys baseball team for having a fantastic season, going 20 wins and 6 losses. And although they lost to Webster in the WIAA Division III state semifinals this week, nevertheless they showed tremendous class and sportsmanship in addition to playing superb gamemanship. Just remember, guys, there is no crying in baseball. So keep your heads up, and we salute you having a great season. The only place you can cry is on this show.
Right.
This week's zinger goes to all of President Trump's opponents for being so critical of the Trumpsters' visit to North Korea this week. To that we say, poppycock. Here's the first president ever to take a huge, and I mean this was huge, chance to meet with a dictator who, as far as we know, is no longer going by the nickname Rocket Boy. and as we know, is not exactly the guy who lived next door to Wally and the Beef. Dennis Rodman and Eddie Haskell, maybe. But nevertheless, for right now, we hope the world is a safer place, and if not, the Trumpster will be the first one to admit that he made a mistake. And for those that believe that, Uncle Scotty's going to be your next mayor.
Walking around the store naked.
Yeah. Vote for me. I got to do this before I go to another something else. I'll never get back to this. This week's Doofus Award. The person's responsible for cleaning up all the debris floating in the Kenosha Harbor. Wooden beams along the South Channel have deteriorated so badly they now have completely broken off. Here's my suggestion. You have a $100,000 study, and then you commission another study for $50,000 to study the study, and then submit that to the city's engineering department, who will study this and then make a recommendation of the study. Fast forward 10 years from now, when all those studies will be obsolete, and then we will have collected enough dust sitting on some studyless shelf, and that we could have filled all our potholes, which, by the way, is currently under study. Yippity, 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 come on, folks. And there you have it, folks. As the zygote turns for this Saturday, June 16th. I'm Scotty Barter, and I approve this message. You know, go back to this, because some of our listeners didn't hear your explanation of what a zygote is.
It's a fertilized ovum.
Ovum?
What do you think? Ovum.
Ovum.
O-V-U-M. Ovum.
Okay. So that would have something to do with reproduction, I suppose, right?
Correct.
Mr. Wizard over here is trying to get some knowledge on the people of Kenosha today.
Should I be writing this down?
I'm taking notes, yes.
Yeah. We are taking your calls. At least we were.
All right, until we started talking about zygotes. Now nobody wants to call in.
Well, you know, we
Good job, Elmo. Now Scott has to try and figure out how to fill the last 20 minutes.
Hey, just a small-time guy trying to get along here, you know. Anybody still want to play Stump the Chumps? I suppose we could play that. Dick, we can go. You want to go for two, just for funsies?
Why not?
Okay. Well, you know what? If you win, your wife will never know if you actually win or lost. So if you accidentally do win, and we have to write you a special note to get you out. What's your wife's name?
Tricia.
Tricia, dear Tricia. One, quit texting me at 1 in the morning. Two, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring that up. And please allow your husband, Dynamo Dick here, to come join us again. All right, what's your trivia question?
I just thought of one. How about what somewhat famous drummer just died this week?
Famous drummer?
Drummer.
Well, it wasn't Peter Best, and it wasn't Buddy Rich, and it wasn't Mike Bjorn. It wasn't Ringo Starr. I'm kind of all over the board here.
Right, and he said somewhat famous drummer, so he's only sort of famous?
He played for one of the most popular people in the globe.
In the gold?
In the globe.
Oh, in the globe. Well, I hate to resort to cheating, but Ellen, you got an idea?
Oh, it's starting.
Just this week or just recently?
Just this week.
Just this week.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Wednesday.
Well, if you looked up Wednesday, give me your guess there, Wacky Wayne.
Oh, no, Google's. I've got Google's guess, but...
Okay, well, give me a guess.
It's DJ Fontana, drummer who helped launch rock and roll as Elvis Presley's sideman.
You would be correct. Now you can be on the radio also.
I can be. Woohoo! I can come in as a guest on the Kenosha Today Show.
Boy,
that means somebody else is going to do the work. I just get to sit here and make jokes.
Yep.
Boy, that was a nice way, Dick, to get around about the. Well, we got a no winner there. Anyway, if you want to pay tribute to your father, we got a few minutes left here. 262-694-1050. The only other news I have is there was. Did you ever hear this new Giant? Giant is airlines out of. Where are they out of? Clearwater, Florida. Well, they had a bunch of cancellations here because their new planes didn't get here. And
could be a problem.
That could be a problem.
So what, they only had the old planes?
Yeah, and the old planes were outdated. So they ordered a whole new fleet.
Yeah.
And this just happened this last week and into next week. So what this company was doing, you talk about goodwill, the ticket cost you $430. This place was giving you back only $225.
Okay.
And you're still without the flight.
Right.
So that would be, it brings us another good question. See, I'm always thinking.
Always thinking.
Suppose that we ordered a new fleet of trolleys.
Okay.